All right, so verifying inverses, it says to verify that f and g are inverse functions. So the way we verify inverses is we use composition. And so here we have two functions, f of x is equal to x plus 6 and g of x is equal to x minus 6. So what we're going to do, if you remember, to do a composition of a function is basically where you say f over g over x. So if you remember, we did those the last week before we were out. But basically what has to happen is when you do the composition of these two functions, in order to be inverses, they have to equal just x. If they do not equal just x, then they are truly not inverse functions. So let me show you how to do this. So here we have 19 through 24, and these are inverse functions, but we actually have to go through the steps and prove it. So what I did is I said, okay, f over g of x. So we have f of x, which is x plus 6. Please excuse my scribbles. I like working with a pen better than a pencil. And then g of x is equal to x minus 6. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do f of x minus 6, which is your g of x function, which means we're going to replace the x value in my f of x function with x minus 6. So f of x minus 6 is equal to x, which we replace with x minus 6 plus 6. Then f of x minus 6 is equal to x minus 6 plus 6. Your 6's cancel, and f of x minus 6 equals x. So yes, this is in fact inverses. These are inverses of each other. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at number 20. Now, number 20, we have f of x is equal to 5x plus 2, and g of x is equal to x minus 2 over 5. So, once again, we're going to use the composition f over g of x, which means we're going to take the g of x function, which is x minus 2 over 5, and we're going to put that in for the x in our f of x function. So, f of x is equal to 5x, which we replace with x minus 2 over 5 plus 2. Well, this makes it easy because here we see the 5 here and the denominator are the same. So I can just cross cancel them because basically what you're doing is you're just multiplying them by each other. So you can cross cancel out that 5. So that leaves us with x minus 2 plus 2. You can cancel out your 2's and f of x equals x. So yes, these are inverse functions.